Welcome to RCCA's Election Preview. I'm Tom Loucks, and today in the studio I have Alan Marcoux. He is the current mayor of the city of Nekoosa, and he's running again, and the election takes place April 1st, coming up here shortly. We're taping this here in March, just towards the end of the month, and I'm going to have Alan tell us about yourself.
Thank you, Tom. Like you said, my name is Alan Marcoux. I'm the current mayor for the city of Nekoosa. Been a city resident my whole life, not quite 50 years. Previous council history, I was on the council for about 10 years prior to that. Chairman of some of the other committees, also spent some time as an EMT with the Nekoosa Ambulance Service. I was on there for over 10 years. And just enjoy the community and trying to get it to move forward, and hopefully we can continue to move forward with some of the things that are going on.
Well, it sounds like you've been a bit busy person.
Oh yeah, that's for sure. All right.
Well, what keeps you interested into running for your second term for the mayor of Nekoosa?
Well, it's just we've got a good working council right now. Everybody works together. There's good respect for each other. The ideas are always coming forward. Everybody's open. Everybody listens, and it's an enjoyable time to be on there right now. I think most of the council enjoys being on there. We've all had issues here and there that are dealt with, but everything seems to be moving forward. We've made a few changes and hopefully some good improvements, and some things are happening fairly rapidly, and some take a while to change, and that's why I'd like to stay in there to see these changes through and change them for the better.
Do you feel the city of Nekoosa is providing the residents what they need?
I think so. We've got great municipal services. Our police, fire, ambulance, public works are all very excellent crews, top-notch equipment. I don't think there's a whole lot of other services in the area that could provide especially with our fire and ambulance, the police, or part-time people that they have running those departments can do a better job than what we've got in Nekoosa. Is
currently the fire department and the police department, there is quite a few part-time personnel on that?
Both departments, the ambulance is right around 42, 43 members, and the fire department is right around 30 members. And they're all basically paid-on-call personnel. We've got, as far as our ambulance service, which is a paramedic service, which is the highest level licensed in the state, we've got housing at our safety center where we have people from outside the area that come and spend their call time with us. We're in the process of remodeling the safety center to provide some better living quarters for them in the basement. And that's something that we're going to start within the next couple of months, and to make it more habitable and more for them to. It's a better place for them to come and reside. I mean, our services, just the ambulance itself, is running over 1,000 runs a year, and that's really busy for a part-time, paid-on-call service. So, and that's in our fire department. They're all volunteer, paid on call, or not necessarily paid on call, but paid per run. And they're all city residents or close to the city anyway, and respond. And so.
Okay. The mayor's position is part-time here for the city of Nekoosa. Unlike Rapids, it's a full-time position.
Yep.
Yeah, how do you work with your department head leaders? Are you a leader that would like to have them come to you versus you come to them? How do you look at leading the departments as the mayor if you get reelected?
I've got a pretty good working relationship right now with the department heads. If they have a question, they're not sure how to proceed with something, they contact me, or if I see something and I have a question, I contact them. I work second shift all of the time, so I'm usually available in the mornings, at least for two full-time department heads and our city office staff. If they have something, they know they can contact me. And I've got cell phones for the two ambulance and fire chiefs. I can contact them if I need to, or of course email and everything like that, back and forth. Right. But yeah, I've got a good working relationship with all the department heads, and I think the whole council does. I mean, we're not micromanaging the departments, but yet it's still our responsibility to know what's going on in those departments. And if we see something that we're not sure about, we have to question it, because I mean that's our job, is to oversee those departments and we actually, I mean, we answer to the people. And if we don't know what's going on in those departments, we can't give them a very good answer as far as if they have questions.
Let's touch base on availability. We talked about you're available for the department heads. How about the residents if someone needs to get a hold of you?
Well, that's one thing. I mean, I've got on our city's website, my contact information is on there, or they can call the city office, and the office personnel will either take a message and get it to me, or give them my phone number and have them call. One thing that we are looking at doing in the remodel of the safety center, which is also our city offices, is making a separate room that could be considered a mayor's office, or it's going to be an extra office just for meeting rooms, one-on-one meetings or something like that. If a citizen needs to meet with me or meets with whoever, that's office there to be used. And
Well, technology is always changing. It's hard to keep up with. How do you see the city adapting to new technologies? It could be within the Parks Department that you may have, or the Public Works Department, or even yourself, or the website, social media. How do you adapt that if you become mayor? Is there any changes coming down the road?
Well, we haven't really discussed it. We do have the city website, but it needs to be what I think is a fairly major upgrade to it. Like you said, technology is always changing. We need to go with it, and right now I don't think we are as far as that portion of it. And I think we need to find somebody, whether it be within our own departments, that's really tech savvy that can upgrade that, or if we need to contract with somebody, some provider out there to do that. We're also looking at going to some kind of document management system. Right now, we don't have a lot of that. It's kind of all jumbled wherever we need to find the paperwork. We got to kind of go dig for it, and we'd like to get something more centrally located. Mm-hmm. So not only the employees, but the council members and the public can go online and get permit forms or look up other documents that they might need to find, or they might need, or at least a place where they can start and then move off from there.
All righty. Well, you have great events like the Pumpkin Fest comes to town, Walleye Days starting this weekend here, last month. Mm-hmm. How do you get more of those kind of events in your community? You know, it builds in, helps the community, helps your local businesses downtown and throughout Nekoosa. Is there any ideas that how you can get more of that kind of stuff down the road?
Well, in the last couple of years, right after I got into office, I was invited to the Chamber of Commerce board meetings. And their events coordinator, Krista Kuhn, is actually born and raised in Nekoosa. So she's opened up business hours once a week down at our library, and I attend as many of those board meetings as I can, and also meet with her every week or as much as I can with her. And she's done a lot of things. We've got the Easter event coming up the first weekend in April, and then we do the hometown Christmas in December. And that's kind of our core events right now, and hopefully we can work with them and maybe some other organizations that are interested in maybe bringing something else. You know, we used to have the old-time flea market up and down the street, and that kind of all fizzled out. I don't know if that's something maybe we could try to bring back. Port does their village-wide rummage sale. Maybe there's something. We've never really had a committee or an organization to step up and say, all right, let's do this. So, I mean, that's something that maybe we can get some more residents involved in and going with that. We are in the process of working into an agreement with the school district for a skate park. It's kind of a joint venture. There's a group of kids that have stepped up and said, we want this, and the city is supporting them. We've got a location fairly well set where we want to have it, and hopefully we can expand on that a little bit. So
great. Let's talk a little bit about business. You have this business park here. It was built, unfortunately, when the economy went down.
Yep.
Do you have any ideas in the future, if you become mayor with that park, any new ideas that might be coming out that you would like to do?
Well, we've had a few conversations with a couple other local companies to try to get them to move maybe part of their operation into that, or something like that, to make them more efficient. We've had a few meetings with Wisconsin Economic Development Corporation rep to give us some ideas as far as which way to go with it. A few months back, we signed a brokerage promotion agreement with a company out of their offices in Wausau. They're a nationwide company. It's called Newmark Grubb. They're basically a commercial realtor, so they're going to be marketing. There'll be signs going up here shortly. They're going to market the park and also the property on Market Street where the basketball courts are, to try to get some development in there. A couple weeks ago, I was contacted by a representative of a business that is looking at moving up into the park, and that's something, if it goes through, would probably be this fall or early next year, which would be the rough figure tossed around, just preliminary, is $400,000 to $500,000 development up into there. So if everything goes right, that'll be a great start. And the feeling is, if we can get something in there, it'll take off. There'll be other offshoot businesses or other ones that'll come into that park. So that's kind of what we're hoping for. So
I guess this leads to the next question. Working regionally, do you see yourself working regionally, maybe with the City of Wisconsin Rapid Mayor, or Buren, or even Grand Rapids if you become mayor, working together as one unit down the road?
That's a lot of things that's changed. The thinking used to be it was each individual municipality, and now it's got to the point where we can't think about that way anymore. We need to be a regional, and just because a business brings in 50 people into Rapids doesn't mean those people might not move to Nekoosa. They might drive through to go to the casino and stop at the station. It's a regional benefit if we can get a business to come in anywhere in this area. The thought process of having a major 400 or 500, 600 person employee come into the area is pretty much, that's not going to happen. We need to start with the smaller businesses and try to get those to expand. We did last year develop a business and facade grant in the city of Nekoosa for the businesses that are in our TIF district. What we do is they apply for grants strictly through the city, and if they need to improve the outside of their building, we have X amount of dollars that we can give them to use that. And the benefit is it builds the building up, it builds the business up, it builds the tax base up. So it's basically just a revolving loan, but yet there's no payback on it. It comes back on the tax base of the property. So, and we've done that with 2 businesses now, and there's actually we've done it with 3, and there's a 4th one that's coming.
Let's talk about education. Let's talk about the Nekoosa School District. How do you feel that is working out? Are you seeing a collaboration with the city department heads, or I should say city leaders like yourself? You become mayor here again. Do you see working together? There's a lot of changes going over in the district, a lot of new things, new school coming out, STEM, in the future here in fall. Do you see that helping keep the young kids come maybe back to this area?
Yeah, I think it will. The chamber does that heavy metal bus tour, and I was affiliated with that the last time they went to Domtar, and they came to Rapids and went to a couple of the other places. And I think it's going to be a good addition to the school. I meet with Terry once in a while. We're both kind of hard to get together. I mean, he does show up at our meetings where we've been dealing with the skate park and the youth there. One of their advisors that is helping with that program is a retired school officer for us. So he's working that, and it's working out, and there's good dialogue especially between our couple of our department heads and the school district. I mean, Public Works and Police Department, they work well together with the school district, and everything seems to be going well there. So
great. Well, let's talk about taxes. It's always on people's minds. Do you see any increases or decreases? I know some of them you can't control. It's state controlled, but do you see any decreases or increases in the city, or anything that you could do to help with that if you become mayor?
Well, last year, in the last couple of years, we've actually been able to bring our general fund back up a little bit by just watching what we're doing with our spending. And within the last couple of years, we took all of our contracts and we reviewed them all. Some of them we bid back out for companies that are providing services to us and things like that. We need to just be more aware of what we're spending and more how it's being spent. And we did actually have a budget increase this year, but that was attributed to we were able to refinance a $1 million loan that we had out there. We refinanced it, put another $400,000 on it, and cut the interest rate in half because it was such a high rate when the loan was taken out 10 years ago. And by doing that, we were able to do, I think, 4 or 5 different road projects that needed to be done, and it's going to be paid back over 10 years, and it didn't affect the annual payment. I think it raised the annual payment like $40,000, which over a 10-year period, it never affected anything really, if you spread it out over that period. So we've been able to hold the line, and like you said, the state keeps putting things on us, putting controls on us, and it gets tougher all the time to keep providing the services that the citizens expect, that they deserve, but yet try to keep everything in line, and it's keeps getting more of a challenge every day. So,
do you feel the city is providing local business owners enough services or anything that the city could be doing maybe for the local businesses? Or you feel that it's doing a good job, or there could be an improvement?
I think we're doing a good job. I'd like to see more. I mean, we did I think it was last June, we had sent a letter out to all our local businesses and said, we want to have a meeting, come on over. It was at the community center. It was also the first presentation that the council had for the Encourage Community Foundation that was tied to that. We had, I think there was 4 business owners there out of however many we have in town. And so, I mean, if they give us input, we're willing to look at it and see what we can do. And that was one of the benefits of this business grant, was to try to promote them and expand on their businesses. And one of the businesses that we gave the grant to just built a repair garage on the back of his business to help improve his business. And now another gal who is running a cake decorating business out of her house is moving into a business on Main Street, into a vacant building. While it's a business that's in there now is going to move to another vacant building. So we're getting a little expansion here and there, and it's slow but sure. But
great,
we gotta help the little ones along if we can. And
let's talk about the future. What do you see in 5 years? Do you see Nekoosa having a little bit of a change? Anything that you could maybe do, become mayor, to make that change, or do you see it kind of on the current path it is right now?
Well, we have to change with the times. We are, like I said, with the promotion of the park and the other property, we've designated a few kind of key industries or key businesses that we would like to locate to try to get into our community. One of them that we've talked about for years is to try to get a hotel to come into the community. We've talked to the Economic Development Corporation rep about that, and with all of just the events that we have, like you said, Walleye Days, Pumpkin Fest, all of those other events, the casino, now all the golf course expansion going in Rome, and just our community center is booked just about every weekend in the summer for weddings and other events. As a council, we feel that it would be a benefit to try to get a hotel to come in. We're not looking for this Taj Mahal of a hotel, but something that's got 30, 40, 50 rooms in it and things like that. And there was always the talk of, the big controversy has always been our swimming pool. And we've had to talk around the council chambers of if we could get a hotel to come in that would be willing to put a pool in, if there's some way we could work out a city pass for residents to come in and use the pool.
Yeah, for something maybe just like up in Cedar Creek, that's a large convention center, but they have a great pool, and it draws in people to the area, and they spend money.
Yep.
That's what it's about. I mean, it helps your local businesses thrive when people come through, and then the casino helps a lot with that.
Oh, definitely. And if we could get it to build where they'd have a few meeting rooms, some of the employers in town could come in. If they need to have a meeting room, they could have it set up. They wouldn't have to come to Rapids or try to find a meeting room in their own plant. It would be off-site and be a benefit to that. So that's one of the things we're kind of pushing a little bit for. And
earlier we talked about business development and really working hard with that. The city is now currently, Reggie is another thing that they encourage to come to you guys.
Yep.
Is that something that you're in support of?
Yeah, we've pledged the money that they've asked for us. Basically, and like we said, the thought process is it's no longer an individual community, it's a regional, and so that's what we've had, the 2 presentations, and they've sent us their request for their funds, and for the amount of money they're asking for the municipality. I think it's a good deal, and I think the council thinks it's a good deal to try to get something like we said, not necessarily in Nekoosa, but at least in the area to benefit the whole region. So,
and I think in pretty much the entire region, City, Wisconsin Rapids, Grand Rapids have all supported that. So it should really work together and help a lot. So it's a team approach, it looks like here, and we'll probably know more later in the year of where they're going in that.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. Well, I guess that leads us into here why the voters should vote for you on April 1st.
I'd like to continue trying to move the city forward. Like I said, we've got some of the projects that are going out there. I'd like to see those continue. I'd like to see them just like move the city forward in our departments and in the city itself. I think it's a nice little town. Been there, like I said, my whole life, and I'd like to continue. Like continue doing what's going on, and like I said, we've got a good working council. Everybody's open-minded, and it seems to be working real well. So I'd like to continue to lead it, and hopefully I can get the votes.
All righty. Well, thanks, Alan, for coming by and sharing all that information with us. Appreciate that.
Thank you, Tom, and River City's Access, and thank you.
All right. Well, I just spoke with Alan Marcoux. He is the incumbent here, running for mayor, second term, April 1st. Get out and vote. Dan Carlson's running against him, and that is his second time running against as well. So again, just want to repeat, April 1st, get out there and vote for your mayor in the city of Nekoosa. Thanks for joining us here on our election preview on RCCA.